Hi, and welcome to a video on using PubMed with keywords. The objectives for this video are to understand the advantages and disadvantages of using keywords and knowing when it's appropriate to do this. You will also learn how to run a search in PubMed using keywords, which is probably familiar to you, but hopefully you'll learn some tips and tricks through this video. So why and when should you use keywords? You may be thinking, all the time, why would I do anything else? I will definitely agree that doing a keyword search is fast on the front end. Additionally, for articles to be assigned subject headings, it takes time, so for really new articles, like it came out this week, keyword searching will be able to pick up those hot off the presses articles. Somewhat related, articles are indexed by human beings, which means there may be a variation in how subject headings are assigned. And as mentioned, if an article is very new or a concept is too new or too specific, it might not warrant its own subject heading. So my initial question for you is, who is the American rapper, singer, and actor who, among other things, played Huggy Bear Brown in the Starsky and Hutch movie remake? Did you come up with any of these names? Most of you may know this person as Snoop Dogg, but here are a variety of other names he also has used or continues to use. If you were doing your research on Snoop Dogg and wanted to make sure you didn't miss out on any relevant articles, you would need to run searches using all of these variants of his name. So keep that in mind when we talk about doing a PubMed keyword search. So we come to the literature with a clinical question. For people who play sports, does wearing a helmet versus not wearing a helmet decrease the risk of getting a concussion? So let's go to PubMed. And we could go and type in the entire question that we just had, but if you do that, you'll get 0 results. Hopefully you don't conclude then that nobody has written any articles on the topic of helmets and concussions in sports. Databases often work best by focusing on the main concepts and searching them one at a time, each on its own. So our question has 3 main concepts: people who play sports, helmets, and the risk of concussion. So let's start with our first concept, sports. I know this is broad, but that's okay. And everything that's sort of suggested here, these are just things other people have typed in. It's not to say they're good or bad, they're just listed there. We'll just do our sports and search. And we receive about 229,000 results. Great. So we put in our term, we got stuff. That's what you're used to seeing. Let me scroll down, because I always like a quick check. Scroll down a little bit. On the right-hand side is this search details box. So you typed in one word, but this is actually what the search did in PubMed. So you can see we have sports as a mesh terms, which I'll talk about in a later video, or sports all fields. So that means as a keyword. So generally, this looks like it's on topic, and it's also nice that we see some mesh terms showing up here. Okay, so we're generally on track. I'm going to scroll back up, and we're going to do our second concept, which was helmet. Or was it helmets? What do you think? Which should we use? I say let's try them both. So here's helmet. And you can see we have 5,197 results. Let me do it with helmets. Oh, we get a different number, 4,286. So this is one reason why you need to remember that if using keywords, think about the possible synonyms or variants you may need to search. I'm going to scroll down again to the search details box. Okay, so here's the search details box, and I see the glorious term head protective devices as a mesh term. So that might not have been the words you were thinking of when you thought of helmet, but that sounds like what we think a helmet does. So again, we have some of our keyword searches here, as well as we have our mesh search. So this looks like it's on topic. Okay, so let's go back on up, and then let's do our third concept for concussion or concussions. I'm just going to do concussion. No S on the end. If we did concussions, we would again get different results. So again, once more, I'm going to scroll down to our search details box. And we can see our concussion as a keyword, which is what we wanted, plus some other stuff. So here we have brain concussion as a mesh term. So this looks like, again, generally on topic. I'm going to scroll up again. Now at this point, we've just done searches for particular concepts, but still need to put them together. So click on the advanced link up here at the top under the search box. So when I do that, we have a screen that shows us the searches that we've run, and now we can combine our searches together using and, or not. So I'm going to click on the add button, add for helmets, helmet, sports. Okay, and you can see up at the top it starts to group things together. I really want my helmets to be ORed together, so let's try this. And if you look here, this is not giving us what we want in our results. We want to find articles with, so I'm going to do it a different way. We want articles with the concept concussion, or articles with the concept of helmet or helmets, and articles with the concept of sports. So do you see how our parentheses are now? They're correctly grouping things, so we sort of have our first, our second, and our third concept. So that is what we want. So we have to just keep in mind your order of operations, our Boolean operators and or not, and make sure that they're being applied properly. So if I clicked on search, it would run this search and take us to the main results page. I'm going to click on add to history, which will keep us on this page and be able to see our results, and to make sure that I did everything correctly. So I'm clicking on add to history. Now we can see we have our search number 5. We have our concussion, helmet or helmets in sports, and we have our results of 296. So we have now run our search in PubMed, and if I click on this 296, it'll take us back to those results. So our key points from running keyword search are: search one concept at a time. It will be easiest for combining and making sure your search makes sense. Check the search details box to make sure everything generally looks okay. It's usually good if some mesh terms are showing up in there. Combine your searches correctly using the and or the or. We very occasionally use not. Remember to harken back to your order of operations from math class and embrace the Boolean logic. And also use the advanced link to see all your searches and do some of that combining so that you can get to the relevant articles that may help to answer your clinical question. And as always, please feel free to contact the Ruth Lilly Medical Library if you have any questions.